The movie reviewed in this episode is rated R. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, I would have totally ratted my friends out. Like,
I
would have snitched
too.
so fast.
No, I would have called the cops immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately.
Like, sorry, Ryan. Maybe you shouldn't have been underage drinking.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Scary Movie Nights podcast, a bi-weekly podcast where the scares are real, but the friendships are realer. Today, we will be discussing the teenage slasher from 1997, I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's Mariana.
And that's Joan.
And we are your hosts for the night. But first, Mariana, let me ask you, how did you win the pageant last week?
Oh my God, thank
Pageant
you,
queen.
world peace. Well, I wrapped up my last year teaching this week.
Wait, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you had an interview today.
And I had an interview today, and
That's
it went
awesome.
very well, so I'm very excited.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm feeling really good. It was super bittersweet leaving.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy and looking forward to the future.
You feel good about your decision.
Yes, I feel totally good about my decision. But it was really hard to leave the people, the students and my coworkers. I was really sad, but I know it's the right thing.
That school has some incredible students.
Literally.
And honestly, staff too.
Yes.
Like the teachers there are amazing.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
I understand. It was hard to leave for me as well.
Yeah.
I miss it, but it had to be done.
It's good. It's really good. I feel really good. Joan, how did you win the pageant this week?
How did I win the pageant this week? Well, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just really happy. This week has been very restful. Mm-hmm. I've been so tired. Like I told you, I think it's the coming down from the teaching high, because teaching is such an adrenaline job. At least I think so.
Yeah, no, you're running.
Yeah. You're on 24/7.
Yes.
Well, 7 hours a day at least.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm really grateful for the opportunity to wind down from that, and I think my body's just catching up.
It's if you're scuba diving, you have to come up slow or you get the bends,
exactly.
But it's you're scuba diving under all this pressure, and then you just come up and you're done. It's whoa.
It's you stop abruptly, and I think my body was oh, we can get 12 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah. What is this?
No, but I am I'm trying to apply for jobs during the day and do podcast stuff and handle some other things.
Yeah.
I'm starting I want to start monetizing my DMing.
Yeah.
So
DMing as in Dungeon Master.
Yeah. Also known as GMing,
I'm gonna
Game Master.
professionally DM people on Instagram.
I'm gonna professionally DM OnlyFans. People Shadow Respond or whatever it's called. Shadow, yeah. No, but I'm really excited about that opportunity too. I think it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah.
It's it can turn a hobby into something that I can make a little bit of extra cash
That'd be awesome.
So I'm really excited because I love playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited about that.
I definitely I'm going through a lot of changes in my life, so I hit pause on playing Dungeons and Dragons, but I do want to get back into it, and I know we have plans to do some one-offs, which are really fun.
Yeah.
And low pressure, low stakes.
Yep.
Low commitment.
So if anyone wants to play a game or two of Dungeons and Dragons, let me know. I'm trying to, rack up my business and make some moolah. I feel like it's such a millennial.
Yes, for sure.
Which kind of brings us to our movie for today. I totally thought this movie was released in the 2000s.
I also thought this movie was released in the 2000s.
I was okay, maybe 2000, 2001. Nope, 1997.
The year after Scream came out.
That's crazy, yeah. So, it's definitely I feel like this is a millennial staple.
Yeah.
For especially horror slasher flicks.
I really also swore that this was 2000s. I was oh yeah, and then I was oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Because then you asked, I was like, what's going to be our new movie? I was like, I thought this was the new movie.
No, when I suggested this movie, I thought it was good.
Because we were like, oh, we'll do like an oldie, like Psycho or, you know, Hitchcock, and then we'll do a new one.
Whoops. So, but we wanted to do this movie because the reboot is coming out in July.
Yes.
And so, you know, we thought, hey, this would be really good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, enough about that. Let's open our notes. And what does it say? I know what you did last summer.
They follow me on Instagram.
Damn, what did I do last summer? I don't even remember.
I went to London. That was really nice. Yeah, it was awesome. I love the UK.
Cool.
And I also went to Mexico City, and that was awesome too.
Nice.
It's like the year of travel.
Dude, I love that.
I'm staying home this year.
Traveling's incredible.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for the no spoiler synopsis?
Yes, ma'am. So, listener, if you have not watched this movie, our no spoiler section is safe to listen to if you want to avoid spoilers. So, take it away, Mark.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so I Know What You Did Last Summer, 1997, is a horror slasher movie about a group of teenagers who run over a man while driving late at night on the 4th of July. They all have something to lose, so they choose to get rid of the body and dump it in the ocean. A year later, having somewhat moved on with their lives, the group gets a letter, or individual people in the group get a letter saying, I know what you did last summer. They must try to solve the mystery as a hook-wielding fisherman comes after them.
I feel like somewhat moved on is doing a lot of work here.
Yeah, well, they all like had all these plans on like what they were going to do with their lives, and then they like... They kind of peaked in high school.
But also because trauma. But also I feel like Ryan Phillippe's character, who is the worst character...
Agreed.
...is the only one who actually went on to, like, do the thing that he wanted to do. But I guess because he kind of had to.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Now, for this cast, the main cast are four main characters. We have some heavy, like, 90s hitters. Like, we have Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Helen, Ryan Philippe as Barry. Philippe. Sorry, Ryan.
No, Philippe is, like, it reads like Philippe.
Yeah.
But it's Philippe. So.
Philippe. My apologies to Mr. Philippe. We have Freddie Prinze Jr. as Ray. And so I feel like they're super big names from the 90s and early 2000s. And then also, like, I love that Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar are married in real life, and they have been for a really long time. And they also went on to do one of my favorite movies, Scooby-Doo Spooky Island. Hey! I love them in that movie. And I think they met for the first time on this film, but they didn't start dating until like 2 years later.
Oh, okay. Interesting, yeah.
And then they've been together ever since, so... congratulations.
Ryan Philippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar also went on to make Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
Have you seen that movie?
And they got cast in those roles directly because of this film.
Oh, yeah.
But I have not seen it, actually.
So Cruel Intentions is a much better film, in my opinion.
Really?
And their characters are incredible. Like, I really feel like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Ryan Philippe were born to play those two characters.
Oh my god, well now I gotta watch it.
We have to watch we will watch it with you. Brian is a huge fan of Cruel Intentions.
Oh my god, is it horror?
No, it's not horror.
Oh,
it's drama.
Drama? Okay, yeah. I'm so down. That sounds great. What are y'all
incredible.
Doing after this?
Literally watching Cruel Intentions.
Okay, perfect.
And or Scary Movie, because honestly, I have some words about Scary Movie and this film right here. That would be great,
yeah.
Who else is in? Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon is also in Cruel Intentions,
and
she's also incredible.
Was married to Ryan Philippe.
For a time, Isn't she the mother of their children? Like,
yeah, they have at least one daughter that I know of. Together.
They have 2 children, according to Mr. Brian Cotton.
Thank
you. See, I love when Brian's here because he's our producer.
Like fact check? Can we get a fact check, Brian?
God, I love that. Like you said, a lot of really hard hitters here. Like, all of these people, in my opinion, are incredible. Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar obviously did Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with the idea of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but for some reason, maybe it was like the timing of the show or something that I just like couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But like, I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer being just like an icon.
Yeah, iconic. And then her and David Boreanaz from Bones.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god, like
that chemistry.
He's so. I always found him so hot. Like, when I would watch Bones, I was like, Yes. Yes.
And then Jennifer Love Hewitt also, she did, what is this? She did that show about, it's called like Ghost or something like that. Or she plays like a medium and she sees ghosts and she has to help them like
cool.
fix, like move on.
Yeah.
And
finish their business.
Their and it was such a great show. I really like that show, but I don't know why my internet's not really working.
Oh.
But yeah. Anyway, just a couple of words about all of those people because they really were incredible.
Cast, to be honest. Okay, so production for this film, this film takes place in North Carolina, the movie, in this like fishing village, but they actually filmed in Sonoma County, California, and then they did film a little bit in Southport, North Carolina. And they shot this movie super quick, so they started filming March 31st of 1997, and then they filmed for 10 weeks, and then it opened in cinemas October 17th of that same year.
Wow.
So they made this movie super quickly.
Yeah.
In like 6.5 months for like filming, editing, like everything. The director was Jim Gillespie, and the screenplay was by Kevin Williamson, and it's based on the 1973 novel written by Lois Duncan of the same name. So the novel is also called I Know What You Did Last Summer. But in the book, the group actually kills a young boy who's on a bicycle instead of a man. Yes, and actually, I'll talk more about it maybe later, or maybe I'll do it now.
That's an important part of the plot, though, for the movie. No, so are they like super different?
They changed a lot, and the author of the book actually did not like the movie.
Oh,
yeah, I think she had a daughter who died. She was shot, and they never like figured out who had done it. I think it was just like really gory, and I think in the book like the deaths weren't written that way. Like it was more of like a drama. And they also like, of course, they added like, you know, the hook wielding fisherman. So Williamson altered the story from the original novel to be set in this small fishing town. I think his dad was a fisherman. The hook-wielding antagonist is based on a fisherman, but it also alludes to the urban legend told by teenagers, and they actually give several versions of that legend as they're sitting around a campfire at the beginning of the film. And also, Williamson also wrote the he wrote the screenplay for Scream.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did Scream and then I Know What You Did Last Summer back to back. And then actually there was a little bit of a lawsuit over some claims that they were making while marketing this film.
Whoa.
So I'll talk more about that in just a few moments in my miscellaneous details.
I like Scream better.
I liked this one better.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I like the premise better a little bit.
Okay.
Like this, because Scream was just like, we just want to kill people and chaos. From what I remember.
But I love that.
Yeah.
I love the chaos.
Okay. According to Jennifer Love Hewitt, do you know the scene? It was my favorite scene in the whole movie where she's like, "Why are you doing this?
Yeah. What are you waiting for?
So apparently, that Scream is a little bit silly. Apparently, the scene was conceived and directed by a child. Who won a contest to come in and create a moment for the movie. And she said that she didn't like it at all. I mean, it does seem like a little bit like out of like, it doesn't really fit super well because the rest of the movie's pretty serious and this scene was like really silly. But it became like a hit and like everybody knows that scene. And it's just so kind of funny, her like spinning.
But it's because of Scary Movie.
Really?
So that scene is in Scary Movie.
Yeah. Wait, was Scary Movie before this?
No, Scary Movie was after this.
Okay.
So a Scary Movie spoofs like all of these different scary movies, and like the primary plot of Scary Movie is a mix between Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Because I know in Scary Movie they have like Anna Faris like running away. She's like, "I'm sorry that I'm ruining your perfect life." Yes.
Or whatever.
Also, there's another scene in this movie where Jennifer Love Hewitt is wearing overalls and she's like, "I don't want to talk to you," and she runs away, and it looks just as silly, and it's the reason I wore overalls today. Because I was like, gotta pay homage.
I love that.
Okay, so Columbia Pictures, who released this film, they began a summer marketing campaign, and it presented the film as being like from the creator of Scream. And they were referring to the man who wrote the screenplay, Kevin Williamson, but Miramax subsequently filed like a lawsuit against Columbia, arguing that it was misleading because it kind of made it seem like Wes Craven, who had directed Scream, had taken part in production of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
That seems kind of petty.
Yeah, and they actually won, I think, so they like had to stop marketing it that way. Okay, now for the box office, it had a $17 million budget. It grossed $15 million in 2,524 theaters on opening weekend in the US and Canada, ranking it number 1. It remained number 1 for another week, for an additional 2 weekends, actually. And by the end of its theatrical run, it grossed $72 million in the US and Canada and $53 million worldwide.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, everyone was comparing this movie to Scream. Yeah. And everyone agrees with you that Scream was better. But I like this one. I don't know. I like the characters a little bit more.
Okay.
Now, the director, he wanted to avoid too much gore, so the producers actually had to get him to get bloodier with these kills. Because, I mean, this one was pretty tame, I think, as far as, like, gore.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They never, like, really outright show anything crazy. I mean, they show some stuff.
They show some of the action, but, like...
Yes.
As far as, like, the hook going in...
Yeah, and, like,
or, like
guts coming out or anything like that, there's none of that.
There's none of that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple scenes that they were like...
Is this rated R?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it is. There are several sequels. So, right, the next year, the very next year they released I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And so that one still has Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. Then there was a TV series in 2021. But there was also, I think it was 2006... it was a straight-to-video movie called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
But I think that one was just, like, completely based on different people. It had completely different actors.
Yeah, it's a different...
It was the same premise, but just, like, completely different.
It's completely different, yeah.
And then this year, of course, we have I Know What You Did Last Summer coming out, which... I mean, in the trailer, we at least know that Freddie Prinze Jr. is in it and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, it looks good, though.
Yeah, it does look good. I'm excited.
That guy that gets, like... murdered in the trailer, it's so hot.
Yeah,
he's so hot. I'm glad they kept that because this cast is so attractive.
Yeah, they're like, all literally. So hot.
Yeah, it's they're so hot.
Yeah. Now for themes, I think this movie is pretty straightforward. The only thing I really came up with, and I did read that the director kind of wanted you to think about, like, you know, what would you do in this situation? Like, this is almost like an ethical dilemma. Like, no one saw what happened. Like, what would you do?
If you could get away with murder, would you?
Would you?
Would you?
Have you seen that clip of Emma Stone and what's his face? Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield. And she's like, if you knew for sure that you could, okay, wait, if you had a group of people and you knew for sure that you wouldn't get caught, would you? And they just start, it's nonsense. Have you seen that clip?
No.
Okay, because I thought that's what you were referencing.
No.
Oh my god, that clip is really funny.
My own nonsense moment.
They're really silly. She's really funny. I think that's it for my non-spoilers, fun facts, miscellaneous detailed section.
Okay. I think Brian has something to add. Let's listen.
You said if you could get away with murder, would you?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not murder. Murder is intent. Killed someone accidentally. So there's a difference.
It's manslaughter.
If you accidentally kill someone, do you confess to it? It was an accident. You had zero intent.
So there's a little bit of a gray area. Is what you're trying to say.
I went out and murdered.
That's true. Mm-hmm. If you manslaughtered someone, would you?
If I manslaughtered someone.
Why is it manslaughter? Why is it not woman slaughter?
No, I feel like I would tell someone.
I would call the police.
Yeah, I would call the police.
Yeah,
and
I couldn't. I could not live with that. I couldn't live with that.
And they couldn't either. So I don't know what they were trying to pretend
I know.
Like they were.
And then
I was like, oh, because Ryan Phillippe threatened you.
Literally.
Is that why you're not saying anything? Yeah. She was tough in that moment, though.
She was.
She was tough in that moment.
I would have been like, okay, I promise not to say anything. I would have gone home and called the police.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry to my friends, but fine.
So, I guess we can move into the spoiler section.
I'm ready.
Excellent. Listener, if you have not seen this movie and you are planning to watch this movie, you can pause or maybe skip ahead if you want. But we are going to be discussing spoilers, so beware, spoilers ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have totally ratted my friends out. Like,
I
would have snitched
too.
so fast.
No, I would have. Yeah, I would have called the cops immediately. Immediately.
Like, sorry, Ryan. Maybe you shouldn't have been underage drinking.
Yeah.
But I'm such a square, though.
I'm a square, too.
Yeah.
But, and then he gets, like, so mad at, like, Freddy's character, Ray. I'm like, bro, you were fucking out.
No
also, isn't it crazy, like, they hit this man and, like, he, like, rolled over Ryan's character?
Like, hit him and he's, like, bleeding.
It was so weird and so funny. But
this movie is a little camp. Like, there's some camp in there.
It is a little camp, and there are certain times where it's like, no way the killer would have been able to do this so fast. Like, whenever she opens the trunk and Max is in there and he's covered in freaking crabs.
That was crazy.
She runs in, they run back out.
But I love how she closes she was smart. She closed that.
Yeah. Takes maybe like, 5 minutes to go in and out and tell your friends to come out? And that man took out the whole body and all the crabs in broad daylight. No one saw it.
There are a lot of, like, timing issues with this film, which is where, like, a little bit of the camp comes from. Because, like, how did he get there so fast? And how did he manage to do all of this so quickly?
Literally.
And, like, this man straight up guts, like, Ryan Phillippe's character.
Yeah.
In the
cleans
it up before the cop
really
gets up
quickly
there.
before anyone comes
like,
upstairs.
What? Did that cop not look at literally anything?
Literally.
Like, that blood would have stained the wood.
Dude.
It would have been wet.
Yeah.
Something would have, like...
Something.
And like, the camera kind of pans and it, like, zooms into the blood on the railing. And I'm like, that's, like, literally the last place blood would be.
Yeah. It was crazy.
I don't really know.
It was crazy. Also, like, whenever, like, I was really frustrated at that scene because, you know, she's on stage because she's, like, the former whatever caper queen or something. I don't remember what it was. And she sees him about to get killed and then she starts running and then the crowd, like, entirely holds her back. I'm like, why would they do that to her? Like,
yeah, well, they're concerned about her.
I guess, but they're like, she's clearly trying to move past them, and they're like holding her.
It was not. No. Yeah, like, that wouldn't really happen.
She would have made it up there. I think. Yeah. So that was kind of crazy.
When she got murdered, like, 5 feet away from the parade.
Yeah, and she fought so hard for so long. Like, she fought that man off forever.
Yeah,
I really thought she was gonna make it, and then I was like, no. And then when he cut off all her hair.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it better short, to be honest. He did her a favor.
Yeah. Well, she went through it, though.
For real.
Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, like...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, girlfriend. He made you suffer the worst, I think, probably, of all of them. Jennifer Love Hewitt's character made herself... She was a little insufferable, I'm not gonna lie.
Especially, like, at the beginning, where like, a year later, she's being, like, all, like, angsty.
Yeah.
I'm like... You all did this together. Like, literally. Their lives are also fucked up
like,
now.
Why are you suffering for Ryan Phillippe? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but he's kind of an asshole.
Yes, definitely.
His character also was insufferable.
Yeah.
The only two good characters were Sarah Michelle Gellar's character and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
The only ones who weren't super annoying.
Yeah. I also liked Max, who's Leonard in...
I hated Max.
Really?
Actually. Yeah, because he was creepy. Like, he, like, was coming on way too strong. I'm like, dude, she is not interested.
I feel like he was a red herring. You're right. You're right. But I feel like from the beginning, I was like, they're going to make it seem like it's this dude, but it's not going to be this dude, and it wasn't.
They needed a little bit of that.
And also, like, clearly seemed like he got bullied and stuff by people.
I know,
and, like, maybe she was, like, nice to him. But, I mean, that's still no excuse, but...
I'm not saying that bullying is right.
But...
but sometimes it's like... Dude, why are you... Because, like, he comes onto Jennifer's character so... What's her name? I'm, like,
Julie.
Forgetting. Julie. He comes onto Julie so strongly, and she's like, bro, I literally... Thank you, but I'm not gonna take your drinks. I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And then so, like... what's Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character? Ray. Ray is like, dude, like... Please step off, like, my girl.
I thought it was, like, at the beginning, I was like, maybe there was, like, they were a thing, but not, like, for sure. But then I was like, no, like, they're certainly dating.
They're certainly dating. I mean, they do it on the beach or
whatever. Whenever they did that, I was like, she was like, I'm ready. I was like, your first time on the beach?
Ma'am,
there's not even a blanket. They didn't have a towel or nothing.
Reconsider that.
Girl, that is a yeast infection waiting to happen.
So gross.
No.
Like sandpaper-y.
Yeah, no, that's awful. No, I can't. I literally, whenever we were watching it, Logan and I were like, no, not on the beach.
I feel like if you ever do try that, you only try it once.
Yeah. Also, I did read like that scene whenever they're like around the campfire and it's like a boat that's like all destroyed. Apparently the director like saw like a painting that he liked that sort of looked like that, so they went and bought like an old boat and cut it in half and put it on the beach so they could get the scene with them sitting in the campfire, which is kind of cool. But like, and it wasn't even a very long scene, but like I can imagine that costs like a quite a portion of the budget for them to spend buying a boat and then cutting the boat in half, just so they can get them around the
insignificant amount of money that they spent. No,
definitely not. I mean, I did think it was cool. I was like, oh, cool, that's neat. Like it's giving like place where like teenagers would hang out late at night. You know what I mean? Like like it's, you know, Half Boat Beach or something, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk about the tropes.
Yes. I also want to talk about the hook man.
Oh, yes.
The tropes, I thought that they were tastefully done.
I agree. So, like, the tropes are definitely there, but I feel like they're not, like, pure tropes.
Yes, because, for instance, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, Helen, like, she actually seems like a pretty okay girl.
Yeah.
Like, you initially you're like, she's like some cheerleader, like, blonde, like, popular girl, but she's actually pretty nice. And also, why is her sister such a bitch?
God, her sister's just jealous, but, like, why? She's, like, super pretty also.
Yes. I have no idea. Maybe because she had like
she has glasses
all these
and a
prospects.
Ponytail.
Girl, take them off and then you're beautiful.
I did it. I'm a genius.
I was really annoyed at that, but I did like that they made her likable, because initially I was like, oh,
she's not like the dumb bimbo.
No,
it's look, she's a beautiful girl who is like, I'm gonna like cash in on that and like win this beauty pageant first of all, and then also like try acting. Wasn't that what she wanted to go do in New York?
Acting,
I don't think she made it because of the trauma, and like it's very much like Jennifer Love Hewitt coded, where like Julie went to college and
was flunking
when usually she was like an honor student, she was genius, or whatever. And so I think that same thing happened with her.
Also, the scene where Julie's mom is like, your dad would be turning over in his grave.
I know, her mom is so rude.
Fuck? That was so mean.
I'm like, that is not the way to support your child. Like,
not at all.
I was also so mad at the mom and the sister. Okay, so bad family is a theme.
Terrible parents, evidently. I mean, Ray doesn't even have a dad, because at one point he's like, I didn't know my dad, but I know he was a fisherman and I turned out just like him. But there's also like, there's a scene where Helen, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, wakes up and the killers cut all her hair off.
Yes.
And like, I think that scene is supposed to maybe make her look shallow, because her sister the night before makes a comment. She's like, you and your hair. But that's so valid. Like, as a girl, like, I would lose my shit.
As a boy, I'd be like,
yeah.
I mean, like, but because it symbolizes like almost like sexual assault, if you like somebody doing something without your consent, and also it's such like an important part of your
identity. Yes,
it's especially for her because she's so proud of her hair, and it's, you know, like it's like a violation of her body, and so like her sister is so insensitive, and I'm glad she got murdered. She deserved that.
Sorry, Elsa, you suck.
You suck.
I want to talk about the urban legend that they read. And I want to know if you know about Mandor hand hook car door.
Yes. It's like man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
Half man.
Oh my God.
Half bear.
I love this because they're talking about this, like, you know, urban legend. It's like, oh, you know, a man and a girl, and they're making out in the car, and they hear on the radio station, like, there's like an escaped man from like a mental health facility who has a hook for a hand, and then they hear like tapping or the dripping and stuff. And so I actually pulled it up. I don't know where this post came from, but when I first read it, I thought it was so stupid funny. I'll read it to you. A man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop at a side of road. He'd turn to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much." "What is it, honey?" "Our car is broken down. I think the engine is broken. I'll walk and get some more fuel." "Okay, I'll stay here and look after our stereo. There have been news report of stairs being stolen." "Good idea. Keep the doors locked no matter what. I love you, sweaty." So the guy left to get full for the car. I didn't misread that. That's what it says. After 2 hours, the girls say, "Where is my baby? He was supposed to be back by now." Then the girl hear a scratching sound and voice say, "Let me in." The girl doesn't do it. And then after a while, she goes to sleep. The next morning, she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check, and man door hand hook car door.
It's like you can't decide which version of the...
Yeah, man-hook car door. It's so funny.
I mean, but I love this because, like, that's how urban legends are born. You know, like you hear it from a friend of a friend's cousin.
And it just completely evolves into something
and they're just like,
else.
well, I heard this, well, I heard that.
Yeah.
I used to love urban legends when I was younger as a teenager.
Yeah,
because
they're super, like, intriguing.
They're intriguing and they're spooky. Yes. They're creepy because it's, like, a plausible story that a friend of a friend... Like, it happened to a friend of a friend or
like,
a friend
did
or
y'all
whatever.
have, like, in Honduras, did y'all talk about, like, duendes and stuff like that? Bro, that shit freaked me out so much!
No, it freaked me out. I love mythologies, lore like this. Like, because really, you know, urban legends are, like, the basis of mythologies sometimes, too, right? Like, a little mixed in with, like, religion a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went, like, down the rabbit hole back in the day with these, and I used to know, like, all of the urban legends. But there's also a movie called Urban Legend. Did you ever watch that?
No.
It's very much this, like, teen slasher from, like, the 90s, 2000s. And it's really funny seeing, like, parallels between, like, that, this, Scream, like, all of these, like, teenage, you know, slasher horror films. I think we should watch Urban Legend. I think it's really fun.
That'd be great.
So it's basically a slasher, and the killer kills people based on, like, different urban legends.
Fun!
I know, right?
I like that!
I love this because it's also, like, it's setting up, like, oh, this urban legend of I Know What You Did Last Summer, someone's talking to you. Like, and then, of course, the hook of wonderful,
which is pretty
addition.
iconic. And I like that the hook is actually, like, you know, they're in a fishing town and, like, they use hooks for, I guess, handling the ice or the fish. I don't know, but it fits in with the fishing town vibe, which I really liked. I like the aesthetic of the film.
Okay,
I thought it was, like, fun. I liked the setting.
It was cute. Yeah,
I liked it.
Man hook hand car door.
Man door hand hook car door.
Yeah, there you go. So you wanted to talk about him?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring up man hook hand hook car
door. So I think he's one of the reasons why I like Scream a little better. I like the villain in Scream more than I like the villain in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Because he, like, what do they call the trench coat that he's wearing?
I don't know, but it's like a fisherman's outfit.
Yeah, it's like a little...
The fishing fit.
Slicker?
Slicker, a Slicker, yeah.
I hardly know her.
I don't like the shape.
Okay.
I feel like the shape is not... It's like a blobby. It's, like, not distinctive.
It's not very flattering.
It's not very flattering. Like, we could size you down a little bit, maybe.
We could snatch the waist.
Yeah. Bring out the shoulders, and we can get you a fascinating... No. So, yeah, I thought that it wasn't, like, a great look. It wasn't, like, ominous enough for me. I like, for example, the... Because, like, in Scream, Ghostface is so iconic, you know, because it's so haunting.
For sure.
And even though it's a robe, literal, like, a robe, it's like a ghost.
Yeah.
And then this one, it just seemed okay.
Yeah. I like that it fit into, again, the small fishing town vibes, and that it could be anybody, because you have the parade scene, and she's looking everywhere, and there's a bunch of people wearing that.
Yeah.
First of all, why are you wearing that out to a parade? Like, that's kind of weird, and it's the summer, it's probably hot, but yeah, they probably just, like, stepped off the boat,
I'm sorry,
straight to the parade. I know that shit stinks of fish.
Oh my god, I know. Why would you wear that for real?
Yeah.
Leave it at the thing.
Take it. Yeah, I'm sure you have clothes underneath or like
Hello?
a change of clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I thought it was like the killer was okay,
Yeah.
and then it turned out to be someone like I kind of like the twist actually.
Yeah,
towards the end,
I liked it too.
To where it's like they thought they killed Dan
Yeah.
Egan, but then it turns out it's the guy who killed Dan Egan.
Yeah.
Is who they like left for dead basically, but they didn't kill obviously.
I also like the twist. I didn't
Yeah.
see it coming. I thought it was gonna be Egan
Yeah, I
that
thought
was
it
the
was gonna be
murderer.
David Egan, yeah.
I also really liked his sister, Missy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she was like a weirdo for sure. And she like lived out in the sticks or whatever, but I thought her character was like kind of cool.
Yeah. I thought it was random.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get into it later.
Okay.
Because it's part of my
Okay, got
good,
it.
bad, spooky.
Got it.
But like, yeah, I thought it was kind of random. She was fine though. She was like a spooky character, like a good spooky character.
I think they always have like characters that are meant to sort of be like
on the outside,
like red
of,
herring or
yeah,
and also
no, you're right.
Yeah, like outsiders, that kind of thing.
No, you're right. Yeah. Wow, red herring. I didn't even think of her that way.
And it's a movie about fishing.
Yeah, so and one other thing I want to bring up about this is I've watched this movie probably 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. And every time I watch it, I feel like I'm watching it again for the first time.
Really? Wait, is that a bad thing or a good thing?
I think probably bad because like I just didn't find it memorable enough. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, I don't even know who the killer is. I'm like, who the... And like, fourth time I watched this movie, I'm like, what's her name again? Like, I think... I don't know why, like, it didn't hit with me as much as, like...
Yeah, that's valid.
Movies, I guess. I don't know.
I liked it, but yeah, I can see how it's, like, not super crazy memorable.
Yeah. Also, you'll realize this when we watch Scary Movie, but... I feel like Scary Movie almost ruined this movie for me.
Really?
There's so many moments they take from this movie and put into that movie.
Oh my
and just
god,
make
I'm
it
so excited.
Hysterical. So like that one part where she's like, "What are you waiting for?" They put that in, and both of Brian and I, when we watch this movie, we just crack up because it's just like it is that moment.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that scene. It's like Anna Faris's character. She's so funny.
What are you waiting for, huh?
And the spinning was crazy. That child was onto something.
You know what,
honestly.
though? Like, literally, I'm not... And it's not even a bad scene. It's just campy.
Yeah.
And it's memorable, and it's funny.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that child should be proud of what he did.
I think he should have been credited in the film.
Honestly,
Maybe he
agreed.
was, but I don't know. Or
Hopefully.
she. Or they.
Nah, you're right. Or they. But yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
I think that's everything.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't feel like this movie was deep in any way. Like, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it was pretty shallow. It was
shallow, but it's like a fun ride.
Yeah.
It's like a popcorn flick.
Yeah, I had
love
fun.
that.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, let's do the good, the bad, and the spooky.
Ready.
What's your good?
Okay, I love the angsty acting from the characters.
Yeah.
Like 1 year later, they're all like, changed. They're different. They've been through stuff. I also love the Hook story. I love an urban legend.
Yeah.
So I love that they bring that up, and it's like sort of like foreshadowing because you do have a hook wielding man who does lose a hand. I don't know if he comes back in the second film because I haven't seen it, the sequel from 1998. Yeah. But yeah, whenever they're fighting on the fishing boat and like his hand gets caught on the rope, his hand gets cut off. So maybe he like gets a prosthetic with a hook. Which would be badass. Cool. And then I love the setting. I think they purposely had a lot of like blues, because they were like next to the ocean. Also, that town looked really cute.
The town did look cute.
I know, and like the beaches looked beautiful.
Very small town vibes.
So I love the setting and the like small town vibes, and yeah, I love the Hook story, and I had to bring up man-door hand-hook car door because I love
man-door hand-hook car door.
Man-door hand-hook car door.
I love how doors enter twice.
Yeah. Man-door car, and then hook is only in it once.
Yeah.
But
man-door car hook.
Man-door hand hook car door. It's a tongue twister.
Tongue twister. That 5 times real fast.
Joan, what was your good?
Ryan Phillippe. My God, Ryan Phillippe. He's still handsome as hell.
Yeah.
Like
today,
that man is in.
I'm gonna look him up.
He's 50. He's 50 years old, and this man is handsome.
With abs.
With
abs to this day.
Look,
Wait, he actually has like a really kind face. He seems like such an asshole.
Which is funny because he usually plays assholes. We actually were talking about it, and I'm like, he has BDE. Big dick energy.
I was like,
he just carries himself like the characters that he plays carry themselves with such big confidence. Like, it's very like, it's giving fuckboy.
He looked good.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
He looked good.
Young Joan. Yeah. Loved Ryan Phillippe.
Yes.
I mean, I still do.
That BDE and that young energy got Reese pregnant.
Twice.
Well, they got pregnant before they were like...
What?
Ooh.
Fun fact about Quintessentials. There's a pool scene where they had to change it up because she was pregnant and starting to show, so they had to keep her deeper in the water.
Oh my god!
That pool scene?
So wait, I'm gonna look this up.
No, Cruel Intentions is really good. We should watch it. So Ryan Phillippe, of course, any day that I get to watch Ryan Phillippe in anything is a good day.
Oh my god. No way. She got like pregnant like damn.
Yeah,
right
girl.
Away.
I mean,
oh, it has Selma Blair.
Can you blame her? Same. Also, I love that it's a fun and straightforward popcorn flick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one of those films that you're just like, this was fun.
You know, it's like pizza. Like, you know, it's going to be good.
Yeah. You know, it's...
No matter what. Like, it's going to be just...
It doesn't... You don't have to think.
Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's kind of bad. But it's always, like, good enough at least. Yep. And that's what this film is. I think I agree.
All right, what's your bad?
Okay, my bad. Just scroll up to my bad. I think the "What are you waiting for" scene was really funny, and it kind of takes you out of it.
It does.
Because the rest of the movie is sort of more serious. I also really freaking hate when they give the antagonist a super vague death, as if to set up for a sequel, which they kind of... I think they did that. I mean, and the sequel came out the year after.
Well, but at the end, when she's in like the dorm showers,
he like comes through the mirror. But
so
I was
I'm really wondering what.
I don't know. It feels like cheap. It feels like a cash grab. I don't know. We need to watch the second one to see what happens.
Yeah.
Also, I read that originally she was supposed to get an email, just an email saying like, I still know. And apparently, like, that's how they wanted to shoot it. But the director really didn't like it. So he shot it, like, really badly. And he made it look really bad. And so when he, like, took it to the producers, they were like, this looks terrible. Like, let's think of something else. When he already had the idea of, like, the, you know, the glass, like, the steamy glass with, like, I know what you did or whatever.
Yeah. I like this ending.
I like it, too. Yeah. An email would have been even more anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Or it would have been anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Okay. I also... didn't like that these characters, like, clearly they've been through it. They know what the trauma did to their lives, but even still at the end when they're like, why would he want to kill you? They don't come clean. The policeman's like, why would this man want to kill you? And they're like, I don't know.
I'm literally perfect angel baby. So
also, the boat is covered in like newspaper clippings of like them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would he have all that?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe he's just obsessed with teenagers or whatever. But I was like, damn, you didn't like even really grow that much. I guess. Like, I feel like there wasn't like huge character arcs.
Yeah.
Which I like to see. What about you? What's your bad?
Yeah, not a lot of substance in it. Not that I don't like a good straightforward, but like if someone was like, I haven't watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, I'd be like, okay, like you should watch it.
You should watch it sometime.
Yeah, like, you know.
But I feel like sometimes you're like, there's a movie that I haven't seen and you're like, we have to see it.
Right, like exactly. Yeah. Like if you were like, I haven't seen Nosferatu, I was like, we need to watch Nosferatu. Yeah. We need to watch Saved over.
Yeah, I mean, we were like at Scary Movie Night and I said that I hadn't seen Moulin Rouge and y'all were like, we're watching it after. We have to watch this after.
So you know, like that was a little disappointing. I feel like they made this movie to be a fun movie, and they succeeded in that.
They did a good job. It did well in the box office. Yep. The reviews were okay. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it has 48%. So, you know, it's well, not quite passing, not a passing score, but good enough.
Yeah. I also think the story gets a little convoluted. I like the twist, but I feel like, I don't know, there's a little bit of wait, what? Who's who? And
and with the sister thing and
the sister thing and David Egan and then his girlfriend who like passed away, or like he What was he doing? Like, it was like... See, I don't even
It was like a car accident,
yeah,
and
was, like,
she
driving.
died.
He was driving,
and he was
she
driving.
died, and
yeah,
he wanted
lived.
to kill himself,
yeah.
but he, I guess, rethought it. But then Ben Willis or whatever, this guy, like
the dad,
her
killed
dad, him, and then they. So it was like, okay, what is? You need like a whole conspiracy.
Yeah,
we need. and it's like, for what? Like, just make it more straightforward.
Yeah.
And like that's why I said like bringing in the sister was a little random because it's like.
It just makes it more confusing, and then you have the whole like, what is it, Billy Blue?
Billy Blue,
and it turns out like Ray had been talking to the sister or something,
and that lasted like literally 5 minutes before she found out who the real killer was. So I feel like there were a lot of like mad decisions as far as like plot goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's fine, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it did fine.
We'll let it pass.
Yeah.
We'll
What's your spooky?
Okay, my spooky is having friends who are terrible people.
For real.
Like I would have immediately called the police, and I would have been really upset.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I would know immediately. I'm like, if I don't come clean about this, like this is going to ruin my life. And then having people who like, I guess don't share the same values as me would be like, dang, you're not who I thought you were. And also like, how can you live with this?
Yeah.
And I mean, you figure out most of them. I literally would
not be able to live with it.
I will take whatever the consequence is. Like, yes, it's manslaughter. Like, and damn, but it's like your boyfriend's going to jail because he was driving. But yeah, no, I think that was like the spookiest part.
I understand why because they're kids ultimately. Yes. So like they made a wrong decision. Yeah. So I understand that part, but like.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we're too old for this. Maybe we're too mature. We've matured. Our frontal lobes are fully developed, so we really can't relate.
And if I had done it, the way they did it, it would have caught up with me eventually. Like, I definitely would have been like, I can't handle this anymore. I have to say something.
No, I would have called the police immediately. Also, I mean, I think that was honestly the spookiest part. Like, the frozen dead bodies, like, when she's in the boat, that was a little bit scary. It was, like, a little bit of a jump scare. But also, I could tell that wasn't real ice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looked so plastic.
Hello?
Yeah.
It looked like crystal or something.
I could tell that it wasn't real ice.
Yeah.
And also, the spookiest part is, like, you're on a full scholarship at, like, university, and then you start failing because of some bullshit that you did because you're stupid.
Have you ever had that nightmare of like, oh shit, I'm taking this calculus 2 class that I haven't been to all semester, and I have to take this final and I don't know anything?
I haven't taken the final, but that has happened to me IRL. And I survived it. And
wait, you like didn't go to a class all semester and took a final?
I have, biochemistry, bro. I could not understand the professor, so I was like, I'm just gonna teach myself. And then I showed up to take. It wasn't a final. It was a midterm, and I showed up, and it was really funny. It was like, you know those memes that's like, student who knows everything, student who doesn't know anything, finishing the test early. That was me. So I like show up for this midterm, and I've got a dude next to me, and he's like, dude, did you study this? Did you do this? And I was like, oh yeah. And so we started taking it, and it was like a weird one because a lot of the time, like at U of H, you would take the test at like a testing center. Like you had to like schedule a time, and then you would go to the testing center, and you would like leave all your belongings at the front. It was low key like going through TSA, so you weren't cheating, and then you would go in and you would take the test on the computer, and then you would leave and pick up your stuff and go. But this one was like we came to class and we took the test in class, like in this auditorium, and they gave me that test, and I swiped through all the pages, and I was like, fuck. Circled random answers. I went down and turned it in like 10 minutes later, and the TA was like, was that too easy for you? And I was like, psh, yeah. I went out and I dropped the class.
I have a very similar story
crazy.
For calculus, actually. I think it was calculus 2 at Lone Star, of all places, community college. But like, I did not understand anything that the professor was. I mean, but he, not because of his accent, just because like I just didn't understand the subject.
Yeah.
And he taught in a way that was like a lot of memorization, and there were a lot of relationships that I'm bad at memorizing stuff, so like I just like didn't memorize anything. And I remember taking an exam. It wasn't a midterm. It was like the first or second exam, and I was like, okay, if I don't do well in this exam, I'm gonna drop this class. So I actually brought the drop form with me. The withdrawal form with me to the test.
Oh my god. Because you could like drop it without it hitting your GPA for like a certain time. Yeah.
So I remember like getting the test and I was like, I put my name on it and then I went up to the professor. I turned in the exam and then I handed him my drop form.
Oh my god.
Right, and then he said something like, oh, see you next semester. And I was like, nope.
Oh my god. Wait, that's crazy.
And because I could graduate with my associates without Calculus 2.
Okay.
And so I graduated with my associates and took Calculus 2 at UHD.
Okay.
And that professor was like much better.
Okay.
Like he was better at like explaining things.
Yeah.
There was less memorization.
Yeah.
And I did really well in Calculus 2, actually. I thought it was fine.
I breezed through Cal 1 and 2 in college because I had an amazing calculus teacher in high school. Calculus teacher in high school. Her name, oh my god, the way I can't remember her last name, but we called her Joni. Between us, we called her Joni. She was awesome, and she was I don't know if she's still alive, but I'm gonna say she is. She's a trans woman. And nice. She was really cool, and she was tough. It was like a tough class. Like that was the first class in high school ever that I went to tutorials. And one time, like I think one time she said she was gonna have tutorials, so like we all showed up and she wasn't there, and we were all like, God damn it, Joni. Because we had like planned to stay after school, but
Joni was over y'all.
She was awesome, but
she was at happy hour.
Her school was really hard. Her class was really hard. But then I got to calculus and I never studied for a test for Cal 1 or Cal 2.
Nice.
And I had friends who would get really mad at me because I wouldn't go to class for Cal 2. But we had like a Scantron that we would have to turn in for attendance. And so I had this friend, I'm not going to say his name, but I would ask him to do my attendance for me, and I would give him like my ID number and stuff. And he would like begrudgingly do it, and I would always get higher scores than him on the exams, and I know it bothered me. Bothered him. But I a lot of the stuff, because I took calculus BC, like AP Cal BC, so a lot of it I just had like really good foundation, and I aced it. And then I was like, I'm gonna take calculus 3, and then I got a D.
No way.
That class was really hard. No, I got a C.
I got a C in Cal 3. I took calculus 2, and I was like, that's where I'm stopping.
I should have taken stats but I was super cocky. I was like, I'm great at calculus. I don't know what happened between freshman year and sophomore year, but yeah,
it's too much math. It's too much math.
It became like 4D or 3D. It was like you were working with like 3 or 4 different dimensions, whereas in Cal 1 and 2 it's just like 2 dimensions.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I had a really hard time with that. I managed to get a C. I did pretty poorly on the first exam. I got my shit together for the second exam, and then the final I did sort of okay, so I got a C. Okay. C's get degrees, listen.
Yep. Cal 3, that's great. Well, my spooky is the same as yours. Mm-hmm. It's like living with that horrible secret.
Yeah.
I literally wouldn't know what to do.
No, I couldn't.
Also, I want to just give a shout out to Ray, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character, for getting on that boat not only once, but twice to save his girl. I was like, she thinks you're the murderer, and she was like, no, I don't want you anymore. And he was still like, girl, I'm gonna get you. I got your back, girl. Like, that is a ride or die. Period.
You know what else was freaking spooky?
What?
When she's on the phone with him in college at the very last scene. That was so corny. Oh my god, Ray!
You can ravish me in 2 weeks.
It was so corny and weird. I hated that. So I'm gonna move that to my bad. The bad, because that wasn't. I mean, it wasn't spooky. It was just bad. It's going from spooky to the bad section.
You said there were no character development arcs.
You're right. No, they were just corny. They were corny at the beginning.
Okay, so let's move on to our rating. Let's rate this movie in how long you would let Ryan Phillippe choke you to make this pact.
I'm gonna do seconds because minutes is crazy, but I think I would let him choke me for 2 seconds. Yeah. 2.5 seconds, let's say. 2.5, yeah.
Well, I just want to say that Ryan Phillippe can choke me till I die.
Yeah,
so
but that's not what we're basing it on.
That's not what we're basing it on.
Yeah.
I agree with you, 2.5.
Okay.
Yep. 2.5, it's like okay.
Yeah,
it's like good.
It was fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now let's see if Letterboxd agrees with our ratings. In this section, we read memorable Letterboxd reviews that are interesting, insightful, or downright hilarious. Mar, you want to kick us off?
Yes, this is from Pube, who rated this movie 1.5. It says, this review may contain spoilers. I'm glad all of the people who have drunkenly ran over and threw into the ocean have never come back to haunt me.
Because there's so many.
Oh my god.
Wow. This one's from Sky. Imagine being murdered 5 meters away from a whole ass marching band.
Imagine being murdered and you can hear the drum line.
Yeah. At least you're going off.
Yeah. Right? This is from Lucy. We already committed murder. We might as well rob his ass.
That's a line from the Scary Movie.
Oh my, well, yeah, because she's like, should we look at his wallet?
And then last one by Aaron. What if I said hottest cast ever? What then?
Honestly, no, it was pretty good. Ever is pretty great. It was pretty good.
And that about does it for today. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends about us, and don't forget to rate us 5 stars in whatever app or podcast service you use to bring on the spooks.
Please follow us on our socials by going to scarymovienights.com. Our 2 most used social media platforms right now are Instagram and Facebook. So just search Scary Movie Nights on either platform and you'll find us.
You can also message us through our socials or by sending an email to spooky@scarymovienights.com. Tell us what you think about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Did you watch it? Was it your thing? How long would you let Ryan Phillippe choke you? For the movie!
For the movie!
For the movie! I'm Joan.
I'm Mariana.
And thanks for joining us for another Scary Movie Night. See you in 2 weeks.
Stay spooky!
I would let Ryan Phillippe choke me.
For how long?
Until I died.
Ryan, how do you feel about this?
I mean, Ryan Phillippe is pretty fucking hot.